And DSpace is built on Java platform. It uses Tomcat web server, Tomcat as the web server, while in Koha we use Apache 2 web server. Then Solar is the software that is used for indexing the documents. As you know, DSpace is a full text capability software. That means it will index from the documents inside the document and gives you the result. When you search anything in the DSpace software, it will actually index from the index inside the document and gives you the result. So for that purpose, Solar indexing software is used. And the database server is PostgreSQL software or Oracle database server. So we will be installing all the requirements one by one. So you carefully listen how the system is building. Okay. So whenever you install an operating system, any Linux based operating system, the first step. The first thing is that you need to so whenever you are installing an operating system, after the operating system installation, you will execute two primary commands. Anybody remember the commands? Yeah. So we need to update the system as well as upgrade the existing softwares in the operating system. So first step is that you prepare the hardware, you download the ESF file of Ubuntu, burn it in the USB, and you know how to prepare a bootable USB. So make a bootable USB, you connect the hardware, boot the system from the USB. So you will get the operating system. Then proceed with the OS installation. Okay. After the installation, immediately you need to execute two commands. They are updating and upgrading. Okay. So let us start the installation. First command is that sudo update and sudo update and sudo upgrade. That simply update and upgrade the operating system. The reason why executing is that we will get the latest repositories, we will get the latest application. So execute these two commands after the OS installation. Okay, so let me execute the two commands firstly. Before that, let me remind you, installation of the DSpace is not straightforward and it is not at all an easy task. Like Koha is very not difficult to be installed. It's very easy to install Koha, but DSpace requires much experience, as well as mainly there are three parts are there in the installation. First, we need to prepare the requirements, install the required softwares. Secondly, we need to install the back-end part. Finally, we will install the front-end part. Okay, so mainly there are three parts are there in the DSpace installation. So we are installing the required softwares for the DSpace. That is the first step. Okay, so firstly we shall execute the update and upgrade command. And terminal is the application which is used for the advanced level administration of the Linux. like installing application, removing application, editing files, etc. being done through the Linux terminal for the command line interface. So let us execute the first command, updating and upgrading command. For the first time we will be asked to enter the password. Okay, I have already executed the commands to save the time. Next is that we need to create a separate user for the DSpace application. So when you install operating system in a machine, probably you will be creating one user, that is the initial user or the administrator user. Apart from the user, see, this is the user I have created when I install the operating system. So apart from this user, we need to create a specific user for the DSpace with the name DSpace. Okay, so this is the command for creating a user, and you know the command for creating a user. So I am creating a user, sudo user add -l DSpace. This command will create a user with the name DSpace. So let me create one user. Next we need to set a password for the user. Okay, we have already created a user with the name DSpace, and now we are assigning a password for this user, DSpace user. And this is the command for setting up a password for the DSpace user. Copy the command, paste in the terminal, hit enter, and it will ask to enter the password. So I am typing DSpace in lowercase as the password. Space. Okay, so I have created a new user with the name DSpace and set a password. Next we are adding this newly created user into the sudo group, and you know what is sudo and where is sudo used, and you know the power of the user. Sudo user. So sudo is the super user in the operating system. Sudo simply means super user. So there is a group in the Linux operating system. So the users who are under the sudo group will have administrative power. So the currently created user has no any power or privilege. So we are adding the user into the sudo group. Then only DSpace, the user DSpace will get sudo privilege. That means the user will only be able to execute or run commands in the operating system. So this is the command that actually adds the DSpace user into the sudo group. So I am adding the user into the sudo group. Okay, the user has added into the sudo group. Now the DSpace user will have the administrative power. Next we are creating a dedicated directory or dedicated folder for the DSpace with the name, again with the name DSpace. Okay. So you know the command, what does the mkdir command actually does in the system. Sudo mkdir DSpace. This command will actually create a folder or a directory with the name DSpace. So actually in that particular directory we will store the source code of the DSpace. Okay. So let me create a directory or a folder, dedicated folder for putting all the source code of the DSpace. So this command will create a folder or directory. Copy the command, paste and enter, hit enter the key. So it will create a DSpace folder. Okay. So actually that folder can be saved from the file manager, file system. See, this is the folder we have created, DSpace. In this folder we will be downloading and putting all the source codes. Now we are giving permission or changing the permission of the DSpace user. That means then only the DSpace folder will be able to handle certain tasks in the operating system. So the chon command that simply changes the ownership. Chon means change ownership. So the DSpace folder will get all the permission for the DSpace user. DSpace user will have only the read, write and execute permission in the DSpace folder. And the read, write, execute permission we have already learned in the Linux module. So this command will give enough permission for the DSpace user upon the DSpace folder. Okay. So copy the command, execute it. Execute means simply paste in the command, hit enter. That is what is called execute command. Okay, so we have created a dedicated user, set a password, added sudo privilege, created a dedicated folder for the DSpace and given full permission about the DSpace folder for the DSpace user. Okay. Now we are installing supported packages or softwares. We are installing wget command. What is wget, what is URL, etc. And mousepad. Mousepad is a text editor, which will be used for editing files or source code. So this single command will install multiple packages. Okay, and how to install multiple packages in the operating system. We have learned all those things in the first module. So copy this entire command. This will install all the supported packages for the DSpace installation. Copy, go back to the terminal, paste the command, hit enter key. So it will install wget, curl kit, etc. Okay, so they have to install. Clear command will actually clear the terminal session. Now we are installing Java development kit. Actually, DSpace is developed using Java language, so we need to install the Java package in the operating system. Okay, this is the package name, OpenJDK, Open Java Development Kit. Okay. So this command will install Java. Simply it will install the Java in your operating system. This is the version number 17. 17 is the version number, Java Development Kit. So copy the command, hit enter, paste in the terminal, hit enter. It will install OpenJDK with the version number 17. Okay, it is simply execute OpenJDK without the version number. It will install the latest version of the Java software. So if you install the latest version, DSpace will not work. So currently DSpace will work OpenJDK 17 version in the Ubuntu 24. Okay. So install that correct version. will install the Java in the operating system. Okay, that's installed now. Now we need to set the Java home environment variables. Then only the application will be able to find out where Java is installed in the system. So this command will direct the operating system where actually the Java is installed in the system. So that should be, these two lines should be added in the environment folder file. Okay. So mousepad is the text editor that will help us to open the files. So there is a file under etc directory with the name environment. So copy the command, execute in the terminal, hit enter key, it will open the file. Okay, so already there will be one line, do not touch the line. Under the line we'll add the two lines, this path. This is actually the path that will tell the operating system where the Java is installed or located. So copy the two lines, including the copy the two lines. Copy the two lines, paste the two lines under the first line. Remember, do not make any modification in the first line, simply paste the two lines under the line. Then click on File, Save, File, Quit. What we have done here is that we have opened one file under etc directory, etc folder, then added the path there, Java location path there. Okay. Now let us check whether it has successfully saved or not. In order to see that, you execute these three commands. This command will activate it firstly. Nothing will show. Each command will show the location path. If it was correct, it will show the location path. Okay. Copy. Go to terminal. Paste. Enter. So these are the lane we have added there. So it is correctly done in the file. So we have installed now. We have installed the Java in the operating system. Next, we need to install the Maven package. Maven package is the dependency that actually helps to build the DSpace installation. Maven and software. So you can install it by executing this command. Maven software and software. Paste it, enter. So we have installed the Java in the operating system, Maven package and package. Three packages are installed. Next, we need to install PostgreSQL database. You know, PostgreSQL is an open source relational database management system like MySQL or MariaDB. For the DSpace, for the backend database server, PostgreSQL is used. instead of PostgreSQL, you can either use Oracle database. Oracle is a proprietary database server. If you want to use Oracle database, you may want to buy the license. So, as we people always stand for the open source or free software, we will be of course using free or alternate softwares. So for this installation, we are using PostgreSQL database server. Okay. So let us install PostgreSQL database server and few other required utilities which are essential for the database management. This is the database server and these are other extension or required small softwares essential for running database server. So this single command will install all the softwares from the database server to extension, etc. Copy the command, paste, enter. So it will install PostgreSQL database server and all other required extensions. That extensions means required other related softwares, tiny softwares. So we are okay. So PostgreSQL database server is installed in our system. We can check whether the database server is installed or not in the operating system or Ubuntu by executing this command. This command will show the version as well as the service in the terminal. Just execute this command. See, we have installed PostgreSQL. This is 16.1. Okay, so the PostgreSQL database server is installed in our operating system, and this is the version number 16.13. Now let us restart the service. You know what is service meant in Linux operating system. Who is this? Anybody know this name? Hello? Hello? Anybody know this name? I think it's not there in our class, right? Okay. Okay, so we have installed PostgreSQL database server in our operating system. Now let us start the service. PostgreSQL is a service, MySQL is a service, and you know starting a service, stopping a service, restarting a service, checking the status of the service, the commands, lot of things. So this command will actually start the service, start the database server. Okay, and this command will show the status of the database service or the service PostgreSQL. So let us execute one by one. This command will start the PostgreSQL database server. So let us start the service. Now let us check the status of the service. That means status of the PostgreSQL service. Copy the command, paste, press enter. You can see the service has been enabled in our system. This green dot will is the symbol that is shown. If that is shown in our system, which means that the service is active. If it is not green, that means the service is not active in our system. So the database server is active in our operating system. So the database is installed properly. Now we need to set a password for the database server. You may be remembering when we installed Koha in our system, there is a dedicated command. If we prefer to secure database server, you can secure MySQL database server in the Koha system. But in the installation, I think we have not set root password. Yeah, I think we haven't set any root password for the MySQL database server. Because Koha doesn't require a strict security for the database server. If you prefer, you can secure it. If you don't, you can skip the security. But for the DSpace installation, PostgreSQL database has to be protected by a password. Okay, so this command will be assign a password for the PostgreSQL database. Okay, let us see how to set a password for the database. Copy the command, execute. So the system will ask us to provide a password. Remember, when we created a user with the name DSpace, we have set a password for the DSpace user with DSpace in lowercase as the password. So in this installation, throughout installation, I will be using lowercase DSpace as the password for everyone. Okay. If you want to change another password, of course you can use another password. But I'm a person who always opens everything. I always use one simple password that will be very easy to know. So here I am using DSpace in lowercase as the password for the PostgreSQL database, like we use for the DSpace user. So DSpace, whenever you are typing password, it will not show there. Okay, password updated successfully. So we have installed the PostgreSQL database server. We have set a password for the PostgreSQL database server. Now let us try to log into the PostgreSQL shell. You may be remembering we have learned one command for entering into the MySQL shell. Sudo MySQL uroot-p will give us the shell of the MySQL, where we will execute show database, that will show entire database in the database server. Okay, so that are being done after entering the shell. Okay, so like that, let us try to enter into the database server shell. So this is the command for entering into the database server. So the system will ask us to provide the password you have set for the PostgreSQL. If it is success, you are okay, you are ready to proceed. Otherwise, you need to reset the password of the PostgreSQL server again. Okay. Let us try to log in into the PostgreSQL shell. Open the command. Page. See, the system asks us to provide the password of the PostgreSQL database server. So DSpace in lowercase was the password. So I have provided, and I could log in into the shell. You can verify by checking Postgres in the front. See, instead of this user, now it is showing Postgres. That means we have successfully able to log into the PostgreSQL shell or into the PostgreSQL database server. Okay. So the step is fine now. Now let us exit from the database server. Simply execute exit command will exit from the database server. Okay. So we have successfully set a password for the PostgreSQL. Now we need to edit one file where we need to modify certain lines. First, we'll open PostgreSQL.configuration file under the etc PostgreSQL version number main. There is a file PostgreSQL.conf. So let us open the file using mousepad editor, and you know how to open a file using a text editor. So simply open the PostgreSQL configuration file. Clear this. Okay. Press enter key. So it will open one file which is the file of the PostgreSQL located under etc PostgreSQL 16 main. Okay. Here we need to modify certain things. First is that we need to uncomment hashtag before the listen address equal to localhost. Uncomment means removing hashtag. So let us find out where listen underscore address is there in the file. So go back to the mousepad in which the file is already open. We can either search with the search option, find, and search with the listen underscore enter. Or you can simply scroll down. Under connection and authentication, you will see under connection settings, you will see listen underscore address is equal to localhost. It is commented. The document says that you need to remove hashtag. So removing hashtags simply means that you are enabling. Okay. So remove the hashtag. So the line is now activated or enabled. First step is that removing hashtag from the line listen underscore address under connection and authentication. Okay. Then click on file, save the file, click on file again, get the file. So we have simply removed hashtag from the listen underscore address line and saved the file. That means we have modified the file. Secondly, we need to open one more file under etc PostgreSQL 16 main. The file name is pg underscore hba.conf. Okay. So open the file using mousepad. This is the command for opening that particular file. Open the command paste in the terminal, press enter key, the file will be opened. Okay, here we need to modify certain lines. First is that find out the line database administrative login by Unix domain socket. Database administrative login. Database administrative login. This is the one. Database administrative login by Unix domain socket. This is the part where we need to add this line. This is actually telling the system that database server is installed there and that can be accessed using this particular URL. Okay, you don't need to remember what exactly this line is. You simply copy the two lines. This is actually telling the system that the database server is installed and that can be accessed using this particular host name. Host name here 127.0.1.0.1. So copy this two line. Come back to your mouse pad where we have opened the particular file. We said that add this following line below it. Okay. This file, this is the part. So already there is a line. Under the line we shall add this. Okay. I have pasted the two lines. DSpace configuration details. Okay. So simply add the two lines below the database administrative login by Unix domain socket. Already there will be one line. Do not modify the line or clear the line. Simply under the line paste the two line. Then click on file, save, file, quit. Okay. So we have actually modified two configuration file. One is PostgreSQL.conf file where we have just removed a hashtag from the listen_address line. Secondly, under the pg_hba.conf file we have added these two lines. Okay. Then we have saved the file, then quit from the file. Now let us restart the PostgreSQL database server. This is the command for restarting the PostgreSQL service. Then only that will affect in the system. So we have modified the files. The system has to know modification has done in the system. To notify the system, notify the database server, we need to execute or run this command. This command will do that. Okay. So we have modified two configuration files, then restarted the database server. That means PostgreSQL server, database server. Okay. So the PostgreSQL part is completed now. Now let us install Solar, a platform or software. This actually, I have already told you, actually help the system to search from the documents. So for the full text indexing, Solar is being used for the full text indexing or searching. So we need to install Solar software. Okay. So let us navigate into the parent directory. cd command is the command which is used for changing directory. You know the command. Just make sure you are already there under the PWD, that means home directories. To make sure you can simply execute CD directory. If you are in another location, you simply execute CD command will lead us to come back to the home directory. Okay, so execute CD command. Then we need to download the Solar version with number 8. That can be downloaded by using this URL. You know what is wget? That's a Linux command used for downloading any file from the internet using command. Okay, so wget command will help us to download file from the internet. Okay, so simply this command will download the Solar application in a zip file, as a zip file. Okay, so download the Solar software file. Copy this file, paste and press enter key. That will download the Solar application software file as a zip into our system. Does anybody having any doubt up to this step? Don't worry, I am already recording the installation steps. You can always refer to that video. Using that video, we can always refer. I'll be adding that recorded video in our Google Drive, and I'll give you the link, so that if you want to refer, you can always watch the installation video. Okay, so we are downloading the Solar application file. See, we have downloaded the Solar application file. Let us check by executing ls command. So this is the Solar application file as a zip file. Okay, so we have downloaded the file. Now we need to unzip the file, then install it. Okay. So the next command is that extract the zip file. And you know, unzip is the Linux command used for extracting zip file. You know, there are many other archive files are there, zip, .gzip, tar files are there, .xkz is there. There are many compression types are there. So unzip is the command for extracting zip file. So you simply copy this command, execute in the current directory. That will actually extract the zip file. See, this is actually extracting the file. We can check whether it has extracted or not. See, this is the zip file. After unzip file, it has extracted. So after extracting, it has become a folder or directory. Under that you can see many files. See, these are the files and folders that are there under this extracted folder. That means extracted file. Now let us, we have downloaded the zip file, we have extracted the zip file. Now we have to install Solar from the extracted file. Okay, so this command will install Solar from the extracted file. Copy the command, paste, enter the enter key. That will actually install Solar packages from the extracted file. See, sometimes whenever installing Solar from the zip file, you may get error. Fortunately, we didn't get any error. If you see any error, you may require to troubleshoot the issue, troubleshoot the installation of the solar. Then only you will be able to proceed the installation, DSpace installation. Okay, so we have successfully installed the solar packages. See, this actually indicates that the server is active in our system. Green dot. Active. Okay. So Solar is successfully installed. Solar is the software which is used for searching and indexing purpose for the DSpace. So that is installed. Now let us enable the Solar service, start the Solar service, and again check the status of the Solar service. So these commands will do that. Copy one by one and execute. It is already installed. Even though it is already installed, we need to enable the service again in the system. It is enabled right now. Now we need to again start the service. Then let us check the status of the Solar. Okay, Solar service is actively active in our system. Okay. Now let us check whether Solar application is accessible through the web browser. Actually, Solar can be accessible through the web browser. Localhost :8983 will give you the interface of the Solar application. You can simply copy this URL, check in our operating system. If it is showing this, you understand Solar is successfully installed in our operating system. Okay. Now let us create a DSpace build folder where we will be downloading the DSpace source code. Okay. So create a build directory or build folder, sudo mkdir build. Build directory. You want to check whether the folder is created or not. So this is the build directory we have just created, where we will be downloading the DSpace source code. Okay, DSpace folder will be used for the putting the front end file. Build will be used for hosting the or putting the DSpace main source code files. Okay. So we have created build folder. Now let us enter into the build directory, and you know what cd build will help us to enter into the build directory, build folder, and which is empty right now. Now let us download the source code of the DSpace. We are actually installing DSpace 8. That source code can be downloaded in the GitHub repository of the DSpace. Again, we are using wget command for downloading. Copy the entire command. Under build, we are downloading it. Press enter key will download the DSpace 8 source code as a zip file. You can check whether it is successfully downloaded or not by executing ls command. Okay, build directory. Inside build directory you will see the DSpace 8 zip file. Okay, and we need to of course unzip the zip file using this command sudo unzip DSpace. This will actually extract the or unzip the DSpace source code zip file. Okay, and we can check what are there under. After extracting you will see one dedicated DSpace folder. Under that you will see DSpace files. See, these are the files under DSpace folder. Now let us change the permission, and only the build folder will be able to do certain tasks. You know ch command and you know 777. What is 777? Let me see whether you are remembering 777 command. What does 777 command means? Yeah, of course, read, write, execute. What does 777 means? Monica? Don't you remember the meaning of 777? Shaukia. Akram. Akram. Akram is there. We forgot the command. You know, read, write, execute. Right? And you know there are 3 uses are there in the operating system. User, group, others. 3 uses: user, group, others. And each user, if that each user has every permission, that means read, write, execute. Don't you remember the number 7? What is number 7 means here? So that means this is the permission of the user, right? And this is the permission of the group, right? And this is the permission of the other users. What is 7 here? You don't remember it. 777 means, yeah, that means read, write, execute. 777 command simply means user has read, write permission, group has read, write permission, others has read, write permission. You forgot the command. 777 means every user will have every power, and you know the number actually what exactly 7 means. Oh, 7 whether they can alone. 3 users there are 3 users are there. If that 3 user has every permission, the syntax will be 777. Don't you remember 760 7? Okay, so here it is simply we are giving all the permission of all the users upon build directory. That means every user will be able to read, write, execute. So we are giving all the users read, write, execute permission upon the build folder. Simply copy this command, execute. You can check that whether it has successfully given the permission ls. Don't you remember this? Read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. Okay. So we have given all the we have given read, write, execute permission for user, current user, group, other user upon build directory. That means every user will be able to do anything upon build directory. Okay. Now let us install web server. Tomcat is the web server used in the DSpace application, whereas in the Koha application we use which web server? We use which web server? Anita? So in DSpace application we are using Tomcat web server. Okay. Up to now we have installed database server, Solar application, download the DSpace source code. Now we are installing the web server. Web server is the software that helps us to access application from the browser. Okay. So Tomcat is the web server used in the DSpace. That can be simply installed using this command: sudo apt install tomcat 10. So Tomcat with the version 10 we are using for the DSpace 8 installation. So copy the command, paste in the terminal, press enter key to install Tomcat web server. So without a web server, application cannot be accessed from the browser. As we know, DSpace, Koha, those softwares are web application that can be only accessible through the help of any web browser like Chrome, Firefox, etc. Okay, so we have installed Tomcat web server. So we have successfully installed Tomcat web server. Now we need to modify the Tomcat file. We need to add one line in the Tomcat web service file. So open the file using this command. So under security, we need to add this line: read, write, path is equal to DSpace. Copy the line, come back to the file, find out security. So this is the path security. Under the security, we need to add this line. At the end, we need to add this line copied from the documentation. This line under security as last line. Okay. Then click on file, save, file, quit. Now again we need to modify one Tomcat file, server.xml file, that is actually located under etc folder, Tomcat folder, server.xml. So open by using mousepad, copy, paste, enter. Okay. Here we need to modify few bunch of lines. We need to do it very, very carefully. If there are any, if you make any mistakes in this area, in this file, you cannot access your DSpace. So find out the line connector port. The bunch of ports that starts with the connector port is equal to 8080. We are actually disabling this part by simply adding these symbols in the prefix as well as in the suffix. Okay, so firstly find out this bunch of lines. Let us find out the line. Connector port 8080. Connector port 8080. This is the lines. This is actually active. We need to disable it. So that can be disabled by just putting these symbols. Before the connector, then after this close tag, so that this will disable in the file. Then add a new bunch of lines under that. Copy this bunch of lines or codes under the disabled bunch of codes. Under this codes, simply click on enter key, you will get a space. Again click on enter key, 3 enter key. Sorry, enter key. Then copy the bunch of codes. We have disabled it. Under that, paste the new bunch of codes. Okay, actually we have disabled one area, then pasted one new lines. That is actually enabling with a few modifications. Simply disable it, then paste the new bunch of codes. Okay. Then simply save and close the file. Simply click on file, save, file, quit. Now let us restart the Tomcat service. Copy the command, restart. Warning, this will usually show, don't worry. You can fix it by running this system control diamond radio command. Okay. Then restart the Tomcat service by executing sudo systemctl restart Tomcat 10.service. Okay. So we have modified the Tomcat web server area. Now let us create database. We have just installed the database server in the system. We haven't created any database under the PostgreSQL database server. You may be remembering in the Koha module, we learned under the MySQL service, you learned how to create a database, how to delete a database, how to show a database, like that. Okay. So whenever we install Koha, it actually creates a database at the backend. It creates instance, it creates user, it creates password, etc. So like that, we need to create a particular separate database under the database server, PostgreSQL database server. For that, we need to enter into the PostgreSQL shell. This is the command for entering into the shell. It will, now we entered into the PostgreSQL shell. After entering into the PostgreSQL shell, we need to enter into the main directory. It is the PostgreSQL 16 main directory. By executing cd, it is the PostgreSQL 16 main. So we will be under the main directory. From there, we will be executing a few other commands. This command will actually create a database user. This command will create a separate DSpace database, and this command will actually create a required extension for the database. PG crypto is the extension required for DSpace database. Okay, let us do one by one. Firstly, let us create a database user by executing this command. Copy this command, paste. It will ask us to set a password. Here also, I set password for the DSpace user. Remember, this is not the DSpace user we have created at the initial time. That is a system user, DSpace system user, and this DSpace user is the database user, a user under the PostgreSQL database server. Okay, so I am actually creating a database user with the name DSpace, and it asks us to set a password, and again I use same passwords, DSpace installer. This is the database user, and that was the system user. So I have created database user. Now let us create a database for the DSpace and give enough permission for the database user. Copy, paste, enter. Now let us install required extension, that is pgcrypto. Execute the command. Created extension has been successfully created. Now let us exit from the PostgreSQL shell. Exit command. Okay, we have exited from the PostgreSQL. Here actually we have done. We have created a user, we have created a database, we have created or installed required extension for the database. Now let us again come into the DSpace folder, that is actually there under build directory. We have downloaded the DSpace source code and extracted it. Under that folder there is a config folder. We need to enter into that folder. Copy the command. So we will be there under config directory or config folder, where you can see many folders and files. We need to make a copy of a file named local.cfg.example. That is local.cfg example. This is a file. We need to copy this file. Make a copy. Sudo cp. Cp command is a command used for copy. Sudo cp local.cfg example as local.cfg. local.cfg എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പേരിൽ ഈ ഒരു ഫയലിൻ്റെ കോപ്പി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. കോപ്പി ദ എൻ്റർ കമാൻഡ്, paste. So we will get a copy local.cfg. This is the copy of the local.cfg.example. Okay. And let us open the file local.cfg by using mousepad. Okay. Here we need to modify few lines, especially the DSpace server URL, DSpace front-end URL, name of the site, database credential, Solar URL, etc. Let us edit one by one. Firstly, check DSpace server URL. Open the file. DSpace server URL. You can either search in the search and find DSpace dot server URL. DSpace dot server URL. This is the line. this is the area. Suppose if you are installing DSpace in a dedicated server in your library and you want to access the DSpace from a client system, you need to replace the local host with the current IP address of the DSpace system. Okay, so if you don't modify local host with the IP address, you cannot access this particular DSpace from the connected clients. Okay, so actually after this installation, DSpace can only be accessed from this system only. And if you are proposed to use this DSpace from client system, you need to replace this local host with the IP address of the DSpace system. So currently I am not changing it. Let it be localhost. So localhost 8080 server. 8080 server. Okay, I don't make any changes in the line. Secondly, DSpace front-end URL. DSpace front-end URL. DSpace front-end URL. This is the front-end URL. UI.url. DSpace UI.url. Again, this is localhost. If you plan to access from client system, of course you need to replace this localhost with the current IP address. The next is name of the site. Name of the site in the file. This is the name of the site. Suppose if you want to change DSpace at your college name, you can put college name here. Okay. So after the installation, you will see the your college name there. Then, so make sure if you want any changes, you need to replace your localhost with your current system IP address. Now let us set database credential. We have created one database under PostgreSQL with the name DSpace, and I have created one username with the DSpace with the password DSpace in localhost. So DSpace and DSpace will be the username and password of the database. Let us check whether there is correct database credentials are there. So database connection, under database connection you can see. See, database name is DSpace, password is DSpace. That is correct. Okay. Now let us uncomment one line, solar.server, that is commented out. Actually it is commented out. We need to remove the hashtag solar URL. You will see solar URL. Solar URL. See, this is the solar URL. Again, I remind you, if you are planning to access DSpace from client system, wherever you are seeing localhost should be replaced with the actual IP address of the DSpace server. Then only you will be able to access it from the client system. Okay, so it is actually disabled. Solar is disabled in the source, means code. So you need to enable it by just removing the hash. Okay. Then save and close the file. So actually I have only removed the hashtag in the file. Click on file, save, file, quit. Okay. So the first part is completed now. See, we have taken almost 1.5 hours for the first part. Now we need to complete the back end part, then front end part. Okay. Second part is back end part. We are installing the back end. So firstly, we need to log in as a root user. what is root user and how to become a root user. Sudo su will help us to become root user. Okay. Then again come back to DSpace folder under build folder, execute this command. So we will come back to the DSpace folder under build folder. From there we need to run Maven packages. This actually takes time. You need to have proper continuous internet connection with enough speed. If it was successfully installed, you will be able to proceed with the DSpace installation. If you fail at this stage, again you need to troubleshoot it. So come to this folder, then run Maven package. This actually downloads all the required utilities, tiny applications, etc. for the DSpace building. Now let us run the Maven package. This will take enough time based on the internet speed. If you have fast internet connection, it may be completed by 20 to 25 minutes. So this is a break time because it takes time. During this time you can ask, if you having any clarification, you can ask now so that we can discuss that. ഇതുവരെ മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ അല്ലേ? എല്ലാവരും പോയോ? തുറന്നിട്ട് പോയോ വീഡിയോ ഉണ്ടെന്നും പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്? ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ വളരെ സ്ലോ ആയിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത്, കാരണം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായിക്കോട്ടെ എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചിട്ടാണ്. വാട്ട് അബൌട്ട് തിരുനെൽവേലി ടീംസ്? യു ആർ ഏബിൾ ടു ക്യാച്ച്? ബാക്കിയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ ചോദിക്കാം. കാരണം ഈ ഒരു ഭാഗത്ത് കുറച്ചധികം സമയമെടുക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ആ സമയത്ത് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇതുമായി റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ചോദിക്കാം, അത് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഐ തിങ്ക് വി കൻ നോട്ട് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ബൈ ടുഡേ. സോ ഐ തിങ്ക് നമുക്ക് നാളെ വി മേ ഓൾസോ റിക്വയർ 1 more hour, അല്ലേ? ഇസ്ന്റ് ഇറ്റ്? So let us complete the DSpace installation today. If you are okay with tomorrow, we shall complete the glabel and stock verification part tomorrow. See, DSpace require this much of time. So installing or training all the students in the class is a difficult task. That is why I am not training you to install DSpace in the class. I only showed how to work with the DSpace. അത് നമ്മളെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, ആ പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഫയലിനകത്ത് ലോക്കൽ ഹോസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഭാഗത്തൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ DSpace ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ IP കൊടുക്കണം. എങ്കിൽ മാത്രമാണ് ആ നെറ്റ്വർക്കിൽ മറ്റ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഇഫ് യു വാണ്ട് ടു മേക്ക് DSpace ഇൻ യുവർ LAN or local area network, you need to use your DSpace server IP in the local host part, in the local host. Wherever you are using local host, you need to use the IP address. Okay. If time permits, I'll show that. Time ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഞാനത് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് ലാസ്റ്റ് കാണിച്ചു തരാം. ഇപ്പോൾ കറൻ്റ്ലി ലോക്കൽ ഹോസ്റ്റിൽ ആണ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതായത് ഈ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ മാത്രം ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. കാരണം നമ്മൾ പ്രൊഡക്ഷനിൽ നമ്മുടെ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ മാത്രം കിട്ടിയാൽ പോരല്ലോ, നമുക്ക് ക്ലയൻറ്റുകളിലൊക്കെ കിട്ടണ്ടേ, ഡിവൈസുകളിലൊക്കെ കിട്ടണ്ടേ, ഫോണുകളിലൊക്കെ കിട്ടണ്ടേ. അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? നമ്മൾ ആ സെർവറിൻ്റെ IP അഡ്രസ്സ് വെച്ചിട്ട് വേണം ചെയ്യാൻ. ഇനി മാത്രമേ ക്ലയൻറ്റ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ കിട്ടും. അല്ല, നമ്മുടെ മൊബൈൽ ടീം ഇതിനകത്ത് കയറിയിട്ടില്ല. സർജാസം ഇല്ല ഇതിനകത്ത്. ഞാൻ വീഡിയോ തരണോ വേണ്ടോ എന്ന് ഞാൻ തീരുമാനിക്കാമോ? ഓക്കെ. അവരെന്തൊക്കെയോ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു. ഈ ശനിയാഴ്ചയോ ഏതൊരു ശനിയാഴ്ച അവൈലബിൾ ആണെന്നൊക്കെ ചോദിച്ചായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കാനായിരുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ കോഴ്സ് കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം ഹാസ് എനിബഡി ട്രൈ ടു അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് വർക്ക് വിത്ത് Ubuntu സിസ്റ്റം? നോ. ആരും ശ്രമിച്ചിട്ടില്ല അല്ലേ? ഷൗക്കത്ത് പോയോ? ഭാരതി, are you there? No, എല്ലാവരും ഓണാക്കി പോയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നു. Only Akram from Tirunelveli. Okay. So you don't have any question to be asked? Sometimes you may get error while running Maven packages. So again, you need to troubleshoot the area where actually errors occur. So installing DSpace is actually it's a not difficult. It has to be done very peacefully. നമുക്ക് ക്ഷമയൊന്നുമില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് ഇൻസ്റ്റാളാവില്ല. നമ്മളെ പുള്ളി പറഞ്ഞ മാതിരി ഒന്ന് അങ്ങടോ ഇങ്ങടോ മാറിയാണ് പോയി. ഇവിടെ ലേബൽസിൻ്റെ ക്ലാസ് എന്തെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും? നാളെ എനിക്കൊരു ഐ വിൽ ബി ബിസി വിത്ത് വൺ സെഷൻ ഓൺ ഫാക്കൽറ്റി ഇൻഡക്ഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാം ഇൻ അവർ കോളേജ്. വൈകിട്ട് 5 മണി വരെ ആ പരിപാടിയിലാണ്. പിന്നെ വന്നതെല്ലാം സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ. What about day after tomorrow? അല്ല സർജാസെ, നിങ്ങൾ എന്തോ ഒരു കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നല്ലോ കഴിഞ്ഞ പ്രാവശ്യം. ആ മൂവിനൊക്കെ എവിടെയാ? ഭാരതി, വേർ ഈസ് കാർത്തിക? ഓക്കെ. സുജിമോൾ ഈസ് there. സുജിമോൾ. കവിത മാം, എല്ലാവരും ഓണാക്കിയിട്ട് കൊടുക്കാൻ തോന്നുന്നു. ഓക്കെ. അങ്ങനെയൊന്നുമില്ല. ഇഫ് യു ഹാവ് നല്ല സ്പെക്കുള്ള സെർവറാണെങ്കിൽ രണ്ട് പിടിക്കാം. ഇപ്പോൾ ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് ഇപ്പോൾ 16 GB ഉള്ള ഒരു സിസ്റ്റത്തിനകത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ DSpaceഉം കോഹയും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കുഴപ്പമില്ലാതെ പിടിക്കാം. കാരണം കോഹയ്ക്ക് വളരെ കുറഞ്ഞ റിസോഴ്സുമാണ്. DSpaceനാണ് ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ നല്ല റാമും നല്ല പ്രോസസ്സറൊക്കെ വേണം. ഒരു 16 GB ഒരു സെർവർ നിങ്ങൾക്കുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, ഒരു ടവർ സെർവർ പോലുള്ള സെർവറൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അതിനകത്ത് രണ്ടും ഓടിക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. പക്ഷെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം, കോഹയ്ക്ക് ഡിഫറെൻ്റ് പോർട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ക്ലാഷ് ആവും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ബിൽഡ് സക്സസ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, സോ മാവൻ വാസ് സക്സസ്ഫുള്ളി ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ഇൻ അവർ സിസ്റ്റം. Now we need to install backend part. So we need to enter into the DSpace folder, target folder, DSpace installer folder. Okay, so this command will enter us into the installer folder. Then install DSpace package, and first install will install DSpace in our system. So sometimes this may also show errors. Sometimes if you haven't properly configured this system, it may also show errors. Fortunately, I don't see any error. Build is successful. Now you exit from the folder. Now we are copying certain file from one location to Tomcat location. That means under DSpace folder there is a folder called web apps. Under web apps there are many files are there. We are copying those files into the Tomcat web apps folder. This command will does that. Okay, so copy the command. This will copy web app files from DSpace to web apps folder under Tomcat tab. Same way solar files. now change the permission. That means we are actually giving permission upon data folder for the solar user as well as for solar group. Then restart the solar. Okay, so whenever now we if you are accessing a solar interface, see there are no drop down here. After this part, if you copied all the files from one location to another location, that means from that web folder or solar data folder, you will be able to see one core selector drop down here. You again just refresh the solar interface, you will see core selector. This will be only displayed after copying all the files from this areas to this area. Now let us initialize the database. You need to come to the DSpace bin folder, copy the command, so you will be there under DSpace bin folder. From there you need to execute one command. This command will actually migrate the existing database to the latest version. Suppose if you are upgraded from version 6 to 8, this command will migrate all the database schema to the latest one. So simply, as we are installing new version, we don't actually require to run this command, but it's okay to run. Execute the migrate command. Okay, migrated. Now we shall create one administrator account. Remember, this command actually creates a super user using the email and password of the user. We will be accessing the DSpace. You may be remembering in the Koha installation in the web installer, at the last part we have created one super user or super librarian user. Actually that user's username and password are used for accessing Koha. So like that, we will be using the email and password for this particular user for accessing DSpace. Okay. So carefully provide details here. If you give an email and password and you have forgotten the credential and if you are trying to log in with the remembered credential, you may not be able to log in. So after creating, it is always recommended to note down the username and password. Run the command. This will actually create a user, administrative user or initial user. This will ask, actually it will ask to submit email, first name, last name, password, etc. Okay, it has asked email. So I am using a sample email. DSpace at localhost. DSpace at localhost. DSpace at localhost. Correct, yes. Now password. Again I am using DSpace in lowercase as the password. Administrator account created. Now we are giving permission for the Tomcat user as well as for the Tomcat group upon DSpace folder. This command will do that. Then restart the Tomcat service again. Now let us check. By using this link, you will be able to see the REST API interface. Then only you will be able to understand everything is correctly going on. So it should display the REST API interface. It may take few time, not much. Then you can also open OAI PMH interface by just visiting this URL. See, API interface is open. This is the OAI PMH interface. Now everything is okay. We can proceed with the next section. So the backend part is completed now. First part is completed. Backend part is completed. Now we are installing the front end part. Okay. So for the DSpace 7 version onwards, for the front end version, they are using actually the Node.js interface. So let us install Node.js in our system. After installing Node.js package in our system, we need to install npm package. Npm package is the related package that will be used for installing Node.js application in our system. So npm is also required. Install, confirm yes. Node.js and npm package are installed. Now let us install yarn package system. These two commands to install. Administration. Now we need to enter into the DSpace folder. You will be remembering in the initial steps we have created a separate folder named DSpace. So we need to enter firstly into that folder after becoming home user. So su help us to become root. Then cd into the DSpace folder which we have initially created. Then download the front end file, that is Angular from the DSpace folder. Download it. So it will be downloaded under the DSpace folder. That is file. Let us uninstall unzip that or extract that file. Execute the unzip command. It has extracted. So this is the optional part. If you want to remove the zip file, you can remove that zip file, or else you can skip that. Now let us enter into the extracted file. That means this folder. CD home DSpace, DSpace Angular, DSpace. Come to that particular folder. Under that you can see many files and folders. From there we need to install all the dependencies. Yarn install all the dependencies required for the front end part. So error may also occur in this part also. So there are several areas are there in the DSpace installation. If you haven't properly configured all the things, you may get error. So properly, peacefully, you need to configure the DSpace system. Stock verification report ready ആയോ? Calicut University is hosting a workshop on Qualcomm. If anybody interested, you can register there. You can attend the workshop. It's a workshop. Feasible system ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത് എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ സർവ്വമാർക്ക് ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. വേറെ കുറേ പ്രോഗ്രാമുകൾ കാരണം ഓഫീസിന് സിസ്റ്റം ആക്ച്വാലിറ്റി കൊണ്ടുപോയി. അപ്പോൾ if you are trying to install DSpace 7, 8 or 9 in a lower profile system, you can't even proceed to the solar part. the system will say not having enough resource like that. So if you want to try DSpace, you need to opt a system that has at least 8 GB RAM to try.
4 GB RAM will not be enough for me.
DSpace. Bharati, Taif, Akram, are you there? Okay. So whenever you come to Kerala next time, you bring a Tirunelveli halwa. Okay. Original Tirunelveli halwa, not duplicate. So yarn has successfully completed. Now we need to come or enter into the config folder under DSpace handler folder. This will enter into the config folder where you will see two files. Make a copy of the config.example.yml file into config.cloud.yml. You simply run this command, that will work. Now open the config.cloud.yml file. Here also you need to modify certain lines. Let's see what are they. First is under the REST API server setting, you need to make fuse modification. REST one SSL as false, host as localhost, port. See, whenever you are using IP address of the system, you should also change IP address here. Instead of localhost, you use the system IP address. In the default file, you will see SSL as to host as this and port as this. So we need to change these three lines. SSL as false. Host as localhost. Port as 8080. Okay. Then save and close the file. So change this as data. File, save, file, quit. Then run this command, yarn run build program. Yarn run build program. This actually configure the front net. Here also you may sometimes get error sometimes. Now we are about to finish the installation. We have a few more steps. ഫ്രീ വേർഷൻ 1 മണിക്കൂറിൽ സാധാരണ ആവാറുണ്ടല്ലോ. മായ എന്തായി നിങ്ങളുടെ ലൈബ്രറി വർക്കൗട്ട്? അല്ല, നമ്മുടെ ഭവൻസിന്റെ ട്രെയിനിങ് പ്രോഗ്രാമൊക്കെ നടക്കുന്നത് ഡേറ്റിൽ വ്യത്യാസം വന്നിട്ടില്ലല്ലോ. കാരണം 27-ന്റെ ലീവ് 28-നാവുമെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കുന്നു. എൻ്റെ 28-ാം തീയതി അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ മാറുമോ? 28-ന് ലീവാകുമോ? അല്ല, ഞാനിവിടെ ഉണ്ടാവും. ഞാൻ മാമിനെ വിളിച്ച് നോക്കാം. Taif Akram, what's your next plan? You have completed the course, right? You have said the ceremony. What's your plan? Okay, you don't want to go for the practical librarianship right now. You don't want to go to practical librarianship right now. മോണിക, അനുഷ അവരില്ലേ ഇതിനകത്തില്ലേ? അനുഷ ഇവര് അവരൊക്കെ പേര് കണ്ടല്ലോ ഇതിനകത്ത് ഇല്ലേ? എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ആൾക്കാരുടെ ലൈബ്രറിയൻസ് മീറ്റ് പരിപാടിയൊക്കെ? പുള്ളി ഇല്ല തോന്നുന്നു, ഇതിനകത്ത് ഓണാക്കി പോയിക്കാ തോന്നുന്നു. സെൻറ്റ് പോൾസിലെ സെമിനാറിന് പോകുന്നില്ലേ? ആ നാളെ വരുന്നാളോ? ഈ FIUGPയുടെ പാനലിൽ വരുന്ന ഇന്റേൺസിനെ നിങ്ങൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? മീൻസ് എന്തെങ്കിലും അവർ ഇന്റേൺഷിപ്പ് ചെയ്തതിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും കൊടുക്കുന്നതായിട്ടോ? എന്താ അവരെ കൊണ്ട് ബേസിക്കലി ചെയ്ത് സ്റ്റോക്ക് വെരിഫിക്കേഷൻ കഴിച്ചോ? every size level. ഒരു ബന്ധമില്ലാത്ത ടീംസാണ് അത് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അല്ലേ? ആ അതായത് അല്ല ഈ പറയുന്ന ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ ആക്ച്വലി ഒരു കോഴ്സിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യകതയൊന്നുമില്ല. വളരെ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് മനസ്സിലായ കാര്യം ചെയ്യാം. Yarn build has completed successfully. Now let us exit from the folder and we have become a normal user. Now we are actually creating one JSON file that actually tells the application to load the front-end UI. So under DSpace, under the DSpace Angular DSpace folder, we will create one DSpace UI JSON file. For that we will run this command. So it will open one file, blank file, where we will paste few JSON code that actually tell the application to load the front-end UI. Whenever we are accessing DSpace, this front-end will automatically load. So click on File, Save, File, Quit. Now let us again become root user by executing sudo su command. So we will become root user. From there, we will start the JSON file using pm2 package. Then only it will be automatically loaded whenever we are accessing the DSpace application. Then we need to set this particular command in the cron tab. Cron tab in Linux means if you want something to be scheduled in the server, we can use cron tab option. That means suppose if you want to, you may be remembering whenever we tried to automate the backup of the Koha system, we used the cron tab option. So cron tab will run this particular JSON file every booting of the system. That means whenever you turn on the system, after turn on the system, this particular JSON file will automatically run. So then only the user interface will be accessible through the browser. So for that purpose, we schedule that in the cron option. We'll use nano. Otherwise, it will not automatically load. So to automatically load the interface, we need to set it in the cron job. So then only whenever the system reboots, it will only the UI will be automatically on. Now let us access the DSpace user interface by accessing localhost colon 4000. If everything was properly configured, everything was properly done, you will be able to see the DSpace user interface. Localhost colon 4000. If something has any errors are there in the configuration, we cannot access the keys. Congratulations, we have successfully installed DSpace 8 in the Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. Okay. So after getting the user interface, we need to run few more commands. These are the commands that is used for if something it means for the better performance, we need to set certain amount of RAM for the DSpace front end face. So these commands will do all those things. Simply copy, run in the terminal, do that. Okay. Now we have successfully configured installed the DSpace. We shall try to log in by using the email address and password of the initial user or administrative user we have created. DSpace localhost was the email address I have given. DSpace in lowercase was the password. If that is correct, you will be able to log in. Otherwise, you cannot. DSpace. Okay, I could successfully log into the DSpace software for the first time. So we need to agree with the terms and conditions of the software. Now it is ready. We have logged in. After login, you will be able to see the menus here. From here onwards, you know how to work with the DSpace. Creating communities, subcommunities, collection, adding bit strings, that means contents to the collection folder by giving metadata, attaching files, etc. Okay. So this is all about the installation of the DSpace. I think we have taken almost 3 hours. If you have any doubts, you can clear now, right now, or else let me save the video and upload the video into the drive and share the link. നമ്മുടെ ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട സംശയങ്ങളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാം, നമുക്ക് പറയാം. ഐപിയുടെ available DSpace in the local network. എവിടെയൊക്കെ ലോക്കൽ ഹോസ്റ്റ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും അവിടെ എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തിരിക്കണം, ആ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ കറണ്ട് IP കൊടുത്തതിന് ശേഷം നമ്മൾ യാൻ ബിൽഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കമാൻഡ് ഒന്നുകൂടി കൊടുത്തു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് ഓഫ് ലോക്കൽ ഹോസ്റ്റ് വി ക്യാൻ യൂസ് ദി കറണ്ട് IP അഡ്രസ് ഓഫ് ദി സിസ്റ്റം. അത് നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ DSpace സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ അവൈലബിൾ ആവുന്ന പോർട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 4000 ആണ്. അത് ലോക്ക് ആണോന്ന് നോക്കണം. അതായത് ഫയർവാളിൽ പോർട്ട് ഓപ്പൺ ആണോ അല്ലയോ നോക്കണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോർട്ട് കിട്ടില്ല. അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ആദ്യം ഫയർവാൾ ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്യണം. UFW എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫയർവാൾ ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്യണം ഫസ്റ്റ്ലി. ദെൻ വി നീഡ് ടു ഓപ്പൺ പോർട്ട്സ് 4000 പോർട്ട് 8080. അതൊക്കെ ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യുകയും എനേബിൾ ചെയ്യുകയും വേണം. Firewall is active, enable all system start. ഇനി നമ്മുടെ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ IP കണ്ടെത്തണം. സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ IP കണ്ടെത്താൻ ഇറ്റ്സ് വെരി കമാൻഡ് ടു ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ദി IP അഡ്രസ്. എന്താണ് കമാൻഡ്? IP കണ്ടെത്താനുള്ള കമാൻഡ് എന്തായിരുന്നു? ഫസ്റ്റ് കമാൻഡ് ടു ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ദി IP. IP കണ്ടെത്താനുള്ള കമാൻഡ് എന്തായിരുന്നു? എന്തായിരുന്നു? Akram bhai, what is the command used for identify the IP address of the system? I am going to know. So, ഇതാണ് ഈ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ കറണ്ട് IP അഡ്രസ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ IP അഡ്രസ്സാണ് ഞാൻ സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നതെങ്കിൽ firstly we need to open this local.cfg file. Open this. Then come here on this DSpace UI URL. DSpace UI URL. DSpace UI URL. Server URL. The IP address wherever localhost, it has to be replaced by the localhost has to be replaced by the IP address of the system. This is server URL, this is URL. Solar reduction. Save. Then okay. YAML file out. Local first to the sample. Then again we need to become super user, root user. enter into the config directory, run the yarn build command again, and now it will be affected in the system. Sometimes if you rerun the yarn command may also show errors. ബാക്കി പാർട്ട് പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ നാളെ നോക്കാം, അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ ശനിയാഴ്ച നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാം കേട്ടോ. ഓക്കെ, നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ JSON ഫയൽ ഒന്ന് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് നോക്കാം. ഇനി മാത്രമേ IP അഡ്രസ്സിൽ ലോഡാകുള്ളൂ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലോഡാകില്ല. കാറ്റഗറി സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ആയി. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി നമുക്ക് IP അഡ്രസ് വെച്ചിട്ട് കിട്ടുന്നത് നോക്കാം. So this is the IP address, copy the IP address. So localhost :4000. So IP address of the current system :4000 should show the interface. If no other errors are occurred, it should display the interface. IP addressly we are able to access it. So that are connected to the existing network can access this particular DSpace from the device. ഇങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് നെറ്റ്വർക്കിൽ നിന്ന് മറ്റ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഓക്കെ, so this is all about the installation configuration of the DSpace. So the rest of the topic will be discussed either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Is that okay?